Welcome to the Snide Show.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm here and I'm the host. They call me the Corator. And I'm joined today with my cousin and longtime business associate, business partner extraordinaire, entrepreneurial man of the year. Man of the year.
Hi, I'm AC. I'm a dad.
That's right. That's him. That's how you distinguish him from all the other ACs. You say, which AC, which AC is this one? And then he says,
I'm the man, the myth, and the father.
and they go,
Yeah.
that's that AC from the YouTubes.
Yeah, not to be confused with the Saved by the Bell AC.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or furthermore, Screech, which hope you're doing well, Screech, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's some rotten shit. Like there's way too many going that way, and yeah. I don't even know where that came from, but yeah. On to nicer things. Let's just get right into it. Where we left off last time, there's the Marvel acquisition. Well, with the Disney acquisition of Fox, they now have the rights to Alien. They're doing a comic book, and the day after we dropped that episode, we heard the news.
Yeah. Turns out that they're going to be doing a series as well. So that's going to be interesting.
It's incredible, right?
Yeah, I mean, considering the last movie they did, Covenant, was in 2017. And I think we kind of had a little bit of conversation about this. They didn't really have as much revenue as they were expecting in box office to come out with another movie. So, I mean, a series could be a good direction to go depending on how they want to do it. If they're going to do, side storylines, are they going to do, a continuation? Are they going to do different perspectives? Which all of these could be cool depending on how they go about it. Now, with that being said, the article we found, actually, this is from The Verge.
Good publication. I like them.
I like The Verge as well. A lot of what I look up when it comes to media related, especially media related, it's from The Verge.
Absolutely.
This one is Julia Alexander.
Mm.
And this is back from December 10th of last year. But not a whole lot is actually being detailed or really known about the series aside from it's in development.
Yeah, and it's like when you hear the news of an alien television show, which I'm sure people have been dreaming of since like the 90s, and I think it was like Alien 3 or Aliens 2, how I can't remember how they numbered it, but it was poorly received, but the thing is that we were talking about last time was there was a big split in the fandom as to what people wanted from this mythology. And half of us wanted us to get deeper into the mythology, get deeper into the lore, and sort of explain some of the science, the history, just what created the xenomorph and what created the xenomorph. And like we said, they went into like sort of the ancient aliens aspect of sci-fi and that sort of thing. The other half of fandom hated it. They're like, give us another xenomorph story. Give us another thriller. Give us another,
Yeah, they just want to watch people die.
Yeah, and it's indicative of the kind of fandom that doesn't want explanations. They don't want things. They want mystery. Again, I get it. We talked about how there's a lot of the Star Wars fandom that is of that ilk. And
Yeah.
and you gotta respect you gotta respect it to an extent, I think, but I don't want that. I want some universe building. I want more, And with a
Agreed.
television series, AC, they don't have to choose. They can do both. As we've seen
Yeah,
with
they can.
as we've seen with The Mandalorian. They have episodes that are like, this is a space adventure, this is a spiritual successor to Flash Gordon and Kurosawa in those in war movies. And then they have episodes where let's dig into the pie and see how the pie is made, that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
we can have both with a TV series. And your imagination just runs wild when you hear that. Alien TV series.
Well, the other thing for me, a lot of people they look at the TV series as being the lower budget version of the movie. However, with a TV series, you can break up like 10, 20 hours as opposed to trying to make that into one 2 hour long movie. Because how are
Totally.
you going to fit, 20 hours worth of material into 2 hours without cutting out, most of the story plot, most of the scenery? That's just, I
Dialogue.
personally love the TV series versus I mean, I love the movies, don't get me wrong, but the
Sure.
movies were made to be movies. And to expand, you really do need some series, even if it's just mini series. Kind of like what Watchmen did.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
expanded on the storyline. They didn't go, season after season after season, but they made the miniseries, which was great. From what I've
Yeah.
seen,
Yeah.
I've still got like
finish it.
2 more episodes.
Ooh,
But
ooh. So yeah, you're in the weeds now, boy.
I
Yeah.
know I see the finish line right there, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, man. And it's delicious. So you've seen just real quick. So you've seen I can't remember the quote. Yeah, I can't remember the quote, but we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, and also what gives me some hope about this move from Disney Fox is Noah Hawley is going to lead it. The same dude who did Legion, does Fargo, so he knows how to universe build, how to like tell a story, man. Like, and yeah, so knowing he's at the helm, this is going to be good. This is going to be good.
oh yeah. Plus, I mean, as much as I don't want to give or glorify Disney, but with Marvel, the way that they've started setting up their universes and the way they're
Mhm.
building their arcs and their stories, and you know the way they're combining it all together, it's almost a perfect formula. So I really don't see how it can go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will about corporatizing of Disney. I think it's a different argument from the fact that they have the money to just put the right people in charge of things. They
Well, just as an example, they were talking about before, and just because I'm like the biggest fan, period, but the Deadpool series, they are going to continue on with Deadpool 3 in the same franchise, even though
yes,
it's done that merger. It's still going to be Deadpool 3 with Ryan Reynolds.
rated
It's going to
R.
be rated R. So that to me, that says, yeah, no, you know what, you guys just do what you're doing. You're doing great.
Yeah, that is a good move in the right direction. For sure. For sure. For sure. Yeah. So, yeah, that was kind of in this next phase of Marvel, that was a big make or break point. The question was raised 2 years ago, was when they started asking, are they going to do that? And Kevin Feige was very dodgy about it. There were like two producers. Yeah, there were two producers who came out and were like, they said they're not going to do it. They said they're not going to do it. So all of us were like,
Oh,
they
that
got
when when they said possibly replacing him, and then when they said PG-13, I was just like,
yeah, we kind of were like, maybe this ain't great. Maybe this ain't great. Maybe we should, And I watched the first, just while we're on the subject of Marvel, I watched the first episode of WandaVision earlier.
see, now I still
Oh,
gotta get that before we do our reaction. But
yeah,
it's funny. Me and my wife were just talking about that particular thing. But stop me from cutting you off and go ahead.
no. I just want to say, so far it was a 28-minute episode. So it seems like this is going to be really easy to digest, and uh, Ranger Rebecca and I have said a few times that we really want more like sci-fi action, lighthearted stuff. Of course, like that's like 30 minutes. That's like more digestible. Like I don't want to have to sit down because you watch a serious thing and then you got to follow it up with like something funny or something. And so like already it's like an hour and a half every, we usually like to watch something while we're eating. We want to watch something lighthearted usually. So something like that where it's like you don't need that thing. You can just, just have the half hour while we're eating, watching that, and then get back to, like whatever we're working on, So it's like there needs to be more of that. And I'm glad that it seems like that Marvel's going to do that. Like I'm hoping Falcon, all that. Like just give me 30-minute episodes, man. I don't care if it's got to be 15 episodes or 12 I'm fine with that. I'd rather do like 12, 30 minutes than like 6-hour long things. Sometimes when it's something more serious, you do want more time. But when it's something lighthearted, like a superhero jam, it's like a comic book. It's like a comic book, and then the movies are more like graphic novels. So I think at least that's my perception.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, that's similar to how we like to do things. Now, I mean, when we're into something, we're into it. So
yeah, binge
but,
away. You got
but I
day
mean,
off next day or whatever.
You know what? If you've got 30-minute episodes, you can binge that still, and not have to take 2 or 3 days to do it.
Exactly.
So I mean, the 30 minutes, I can totally get on board with that.
Yeah. So and again, I'm not going to say anything about the contents of it. I just want to say it's good. I like this. And then I know when it's done or when it's like halfway, where we're going to do a reaction and stuff and kind of get more into it. But so that I think that's it for the fi today, the sci-fi. Let's move on to some reality. What do you say?
Sounds like a good old plan to me.
All right. So this was kind of more. Did this tie into a previous story?
This was the Space News 2021 launches.
Yeah, the 45th Space Wing forecasts more than 50 launches this year.
Yes. So this kind of ties into SpaceX, which is actually another one of our conversation pieces. But this definitely leads into it because this talks about right here alone. It says we have 53 launches in our forecast, with one already in the books, which coming straight out of Florida Space Station. And then if you read right here, three of the launches from Florida Space Coast will be NASA human space missions, which means 3 of these missions will have human beings on board launching out.
Oh, wow. I see. I thought it was just satellites.
Now, a lot of them are going to be satellites of the launches that they're doing, but at least 3 of them are going to have human beings on board. And 2 of those are going to be SpaceX alone. Okay.
So this is like a sort of a almost like third-party company.
Essentially, but of the.
And then Space Force, and that's one of those government things. Okay, so yeah, it seems like they're like different companies using Space Wing. So is I guess they're like the launch pad.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. And then let's see here.
Yeah, the Falcon 9. I remember reading about that one. Space Force, 45th Space Wing. Totally 31 space carried on Florida. Oh yeah, and this is from Sandra Irwin.
January 12th of this year.
Man, so I mean that's just, and you think if say like 5 of those things aren't satellites, so like 48 or something, like more of those satellites, which, I love the progression of technology. It's great, but it's just like that's a lot more space junk. That's a lot more debris up there.
Oh yeah, and I was doing some of the research for this particular pod, and there are several different articles about the space debris that they're finding out there now, and some of it's stuff that they didn't know was out there. And I'm talking, like old satellites and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's stuff that's just been, but of course, I mean, you've seen the pictures where it looks like a big old dumpster of satellites, just chilling out there around the Earth.
Yeah, and like the picture from that article last time, the predecessor to this one, the time lapse of the satellites moving that created just this sweeping, it was more than like constellations basically of just like lines of light, and we got the light pollution down here and stuff, looking towards town a lot of times. I like that I'm on the way side of town because you look in one direction, you can see the stars at least. You look in the other direction, it's just this big, the town glowing, which is sometimes a cool effect, but also sometimes, I want to see more stars, which there's some nights that you do, it depends on if there's an event going on. But that motor mile there, it's, it's a lot of light. I'm sorry, everyone, if my cat meows or being picked up. I had to close her out. She's not very happy about it. But so we got it just seems like there's it's a double-edged sword. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
When you got
double-edged sword.
There's the good of technology. It's good to have more coverage of data and things for scientific ventures and communications. But then also, you see those sci-fi stories where it's like we've covered the whole Earth in just like satellites, and it becomes this thing, the shield almost around Earth.
Yeah, almost like what was it? It was an episode of Futurama where they're trying to protect everyone from the giant trash ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was it? The Dimonium shield around the Earth.
Yeah.
Except this one is both the trash ball and the shield all in one.
Right. Alright. So on to the next one. You had a good transition.
Right. So that's going to lead us into the update. Because last time we did speak about SpaceX, which you just referenced, with the satellites. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, a few weeks back, me and my wife were outside. We looked up. We saw all these lights moving, like 60 or so in a row. And we looked it up, and it turns out that those were the SpaceX, or Elon Musk. They're his satellites, which are preparing for the SpaceX Starship programs, which, as of right now, that's one of the, two of the human space missions that are about to occur. Mm-hmm. Right now, SpaceX is actually swapping out 2 of its engines for its SN9 prototype. Now, the first takeoff of the prototype, of course, is a test for these 2 engines because they're high-powered engines. And this update was as of Wednesday, so the 13th, just a couple days ago. They are high-altitude tests that, as long as they run smoothly without any hiccups, they're going to be sending people up in next. So apparently what had happened is two of the engines needed to be repaired and then switched out. So apparently there was some kind of malfunction.
Ooh,
Which
there
is never
was.
good.
It's
Which
kind of
usually...
worst case scenario there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I would be a little, nerve-wracked. But this developing starship is to take people and cargo to the moon, Mars, and other distant destinations.
Distant destinations. Say
Dotted out
that
there.
like 10 times really fast. Yeah. So
Hell, I couldn't make it once.
yeah. I mean, it's just good that they haven't put people up in those yet.
Yeah. But then again, if there's going to be 50 different, launches, of those 50, how many of them are probably more than likely going to be tests?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'd say at least a third of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would definitely say that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, because I mean these big rockets. I mean they're so big. It's like you don't really have the resources to be able to do full scale tests, but so many times. And then the satellites themselves, while you don't want to lose that cargo, those are something of tests. Hopefully, the human launches are towards the end of the year. Towards the end of the year,
After they've done their testing and
after the tests and the satellites and just I don't know, because the big criticism of these big companies is that they cut corners, because there's the ratcheting effect, and you have quotas, so it's they cut corners wherever they can, and you don't see that as much with publicly funded ventures or partnerships, which you see this is like mainly a partnership, but
yeah. Well, because we'll have to keep updates going on this then.
Yeah, this is definitely one we've got to track. Yeah, absolutely. Because I've always been... I like the idea of a lot of the things that Musk's companies tend to support. But I'm also not a fangirl who's like 100% in on, Musk is Stark. Sort of.
Yeah. No, I think that's an overstatement, to be honest. Like, don't get me wrong. I think he's doing great things, but do I think he's Tony Stark?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
And if you look at his track record, he more often he just tends to stick his fingers in the right pies. He tends to sort of attach himself to people and businesses that are he knows are a sure thing, and he, much like ex-President Trump, is the name is the brand. The name is the brand, and you see him attach himself to something, you're like, well, chances are, although Musk, I'd say has a better track record.
Yeah, I would have to agree, especially nowadays.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, again, we'll have to just stay updated on the Starwing launches this year, and the SpaceX launches, which coincides well with the Starwing stuff. And then
before I forget,
sure.
that also reminds me of there's another large company that was in the works. You probably already know about it, but you remember Virgin Launcher One, right?
Is that Branson's stuff, or am I thinking of different Virgin? I was thinking of like Virgin Airlines and how like they might have been getting into
I
space
think no,
stuff.
yeah, because I went ahead and looked up some of it real quick. So yeah, you're right, and it's Launcher One. Um, that one was launched in 2007. Okay, and that's part of the Virgin One orbit demo. Um, but you remember, I was talking about the interview uh, with oh, crap, what is his name? Of course, it doesn't say. It's just really strange. Um, but the tech, and he's talking about wanting to take the one trip mission to Mars, where he's got the tickets and all that stuff already set up.
Oh, all
Do we
that.
remember what year he had planned on doing that in?
The launch to Mars.
Yes.
You're talking about Sir Richard Branson's launch to Mars, not
Yes.
Musk's. 'Cause
Yes.
Musk's tentatively,
No,
I
not
think, is
yes.
2025. I want to say it was before 2020. I want to
It
say
was. It was in
because I remember
2018.
and he's trying to cash in on him.
Yes.
Oh my God, he's like, well, ugh.
As we remember, when we didn't do a pod on this, by the way, everybody, we had a conversation about this.
Yeah.
So it cost roughly $250,000 ticket, and there were 25 seats. All the seats were filled. Well, the tickets weren't refundable. So if he didn't take that
My God.
now, and the last thing talked about Launcher One was in 2007.
I remember all of that. Yeah. Like this is a blast from the past. This is a great update, dude. That's oh my God. Could you imagine? Did you say how much they were?
The tickets,
Yeah,
250,000.
250. That's right. 250,000. Yeah, that's a quarter mil. You were like, I'm going to space in 11 years. Just every year waiting, getting like. But did they get updates? I know there weren't really public updates
Now, see that I don't know.
because
They might have.
you know what
but
I'm saying? Like, did they write letters? I think this is worth a documentary. A documentary on like the lives of these people and like go and see if they have any home movies or whatever, if they've tracked emails or letters throughout the time and try to get some. Because I remember 07 might have been at the height or right after the height of Sir Richard Branson's popularity. He was kind of the Musk for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And
then I just kind of nosedived.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was one of those figures that kind of just slowly moved off the. Is Virgin Airlines still a thing? Because I feel like I haven't heard it mentioned in a long time.
I think so. I just don't think they're doing very well. But just give me 1 second, and I will actually look it up. Apparently, there's Virgin Airspace, and yes, it is. It is.
Virgin Airlines still a thing? Okay. Yeah, because that was the only time you would start. Because there was also, remember, I think there was Virgin Mobile, which definitely is not still a thing. I think they were bought by like T-Mobile or became T-Mobile. I want to say.
I think they did become T-Mobile, yeah.
And so anytime you would hear the planes mentioned, you'd be like, oh yeah, Sir Richard Branson, I wonder how he's doing. And then that'd be it. And then you wouldn't really think about him until the next time you saw one of those planes in a movie or a show. Because there was like, for the Virgin brand, there was like product placement from like, I want to say like 02, 03 through up to like that 07 era of just like, Jesus Christ, you couldn't get away from it. You saw one of those planes everywhere you went. You saw some sort of story about Sir Richard Branson. Like, I remember, I think he even did an episode of Cribs. If he didn't do Cribs, there was some sort of doc on his island. It was an island.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was so I own a personal island or something like that on
Hmm.
either VH1 or MTV. I think you're right because Shaq had one
Interesting.
too.
Oh yeah. He's a Mason.
Is he?
I
That I
saw
actually did not know.
some weird clip where he was like at the table. That he does one of those round table like sports shows, and there's like these two dorky white dudes that he sits with, and it's kind of like, oh man, look how big he is next to these guys. And like he does good commentary, but he also just does the funny meme stuff because he loves being a meme. But out of nowhere, just totally unprompted in the middle of them talking about sports and stuff, he's like he's got like his rings and stuff, and he's like or he's wearing a ring or something, and someone's like, "Hey Shaq, is that your Heisman ring or something like that?" Or like, I know it's not Heisman, but whatever the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
basketball equivalent of that is, and they're like, he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, no, this is actually a ring for a different brotherhood that I'm a part of." And he's like, "These are the Freemasons." They did like this like zoom in on it where it's like it was almost like something out of like Home Shopping Network where you were like you could tell they queued up those shots of like yeah yeah like yeah like, he's like, hey, look at this, like this all this could be yours if you join today, and it
We
was
have a
just
sacred
it
dagger
was
for you.
very, yeah, right, it was very weird and like just very like because they've tried to do their like sort of PR in the past like 10 years trying to make it seem very well, no, we're just adult Boy Scouts, no, we're just we just hang out, we're like and like you see like the bumper stickers and stuff and you're just like, really, like that's so tacky, man. Shit, everything in the 21st century has to be corporatized, and I'm not saying it's not necessarily not like some sort of like harmless fraternal order or whatever, but it's just kind of like, keep the mystique, guys. Keep the why this is lame. You're making it lame. You got like Ashton Kutcher wearing a Freemason hat at a basketball game. That's lame. That's lame.
Oh, it's not so secret actually.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not as secret as you think it is.
Obviously, it's like, all right, well, fucking yeah. But I digress.
Yes, anywho.
Back to space.
Anyway, so now this is the Kepler Space Telescope's second ever exploded candidate finally confirmed. Oh, I'm sorry. Exoplanet.
And Kepler. Kepler.
Kepler.
Kepler.
You shouldn't have let me read the headings today.
It's really there. Kepler Space Telescope's second ever exoplanet candidate finally confirmed.
See, that's how it's
It's
done.
The Neptune-sized KOI 5AB does indeed exist. I feel like I have heard this debated before. There's been...
This sounds really familiar.
Yeah. You remember the Planet X hysteria?
Mm-hmm.
What was
Yes.
the writer? I can't remember his name, but he wrote like those... He was one of those weird, like... almost like... the founder of Scientology... Hubbard, where he's like...
Oh, yeah.
Where he like slowly became... He went from sci-fi writer to like somewhere... being like, no, I actually believe all this shit I'm writing. And he's like, no, this is science, everyone. And everyone's like, huh? Like, no, it's
No, you're wrong. No.
it's he was the he's and then that became like the wormwood thing, and then that somehow that got 10 years later into the Mayan thing and all that blah blah blah. But somewhere along the way they kept being like, no, there's actually another planet past Pluto, and everyone's like, nah, that's fiction, and it got muddled. And I think this is one of those candidates. So I want to say, Neptune size. I'm not sure. Does it say if it's in our solar system?
Let's see. Spacecraft perspective.
The transit method.
Well, it is 1,800 light years away from Earth in the constellation Cygnus.
All right, so yeah, it scratched that. It has nothing to do with our solar system. I meant to pre-read these, but I got caught up trying to get all this set up and stuff, and arguing with the cat and stuff.
Yes, the cat. Indeed. No, but though this does bring up several good points, and actually some of the things we can talk about, because like you brought up Planet X, there's actually another planet in our solar system that they just found that's roughly the size of, I think, our sun is what it was saying, but it was within our orbit and it got knocked out, so it's technically outside of our orbit. But it's a gaseous giant.
Ooh, one of those.
Mm-hmm. So
Hold on real quick. I'm going to grab this cat real quick.
Oh, the cat.
She always gets her way. Look, everyone. She's okay. She's alright. She's not trapped out in the cold depths of space.
No, she was just, in the cold depths of the hallway.
Now I'm all misaligned and I can't get realigned. Alright, that's going to have to do. Just going to attack my cords I have over here. She's going to get mad if I move too much. This cat. She's got it better than most. Tell him, Piper. Piper. After all that, she can't give me one meow.
Nah. Well, it's a cat.
Any hoozles. I'm sorry, the gaseous giant that may be Planet X.
Yeah, so I watched a documentary on, I want to say it was actually on Netflix. But,
love those Netflix
they're talking
docs.
about... I'm sorry?
I love those Netflix docs. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, no. Me too. There's actually a whole channel where it's like an anthological series on docs like that, which is... Anywho, moving along.
Sorry.
So, in the documentary on this planet, they're not 100% sure what the planet is. They're not really 100% sure what it looks like, how big it is. But what they do know is it's there.
What they do know, Juno,
is it's definitely there, we think. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna call it a gaseous giant. But in the documentary, they're like, well, it could be, and this is where it could be, and how it could have gotten there. And then at the end, that's when they said everything I just said. It's definitely a gaseous giant, and it's gotten pushed out. It was once in our rotation and orbit and all that. But they were also speculating on the thing possibly being a larger version of Earth, which has got all kinds of people like, ooh, but I don't believe so, sir.
Well, what do you think?
About the planet?
Yeah. You, as an everyman father, as an everyman Gothic father, what do you think about that planet?
Well, I'll be honest, I don't rightfully care.
You gotta care. This is a space show today.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. No. To be quite honest, I don't know. I mean, from what they've said, I mean, they haven't actually sent a rover to it. They only have a picture the size of, like a ink pen needle on a piece of paper. So it's kind of hard to tell. Do I think it's a planet out there that's like a massive Earth? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Could it be a giant ice ball? Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. We see a lot of those. But
no.
Tell me, AC, why aren't there like tons more rovers?
Well, that's a cost, Core.
That's true.
That's a cost that they're
pretty
saying.
Expensive.
Well, that's not that important.
But we need more.
We don't need it.
But look at all the cool rocks and shit we've seen with the Mars rover.
Oh, and apparently there's water on Mars. So, there's that.
Oh, yeah. That was confirmed recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
there's rivers underneath the surface, and there's, I think, live amoeba in the rivers.
Which is a great sign. Which is a great sign for extraterrestrial life. Because that instantly increases the statistical probability.
Well, but you got to remember what you mean is extraterrestrial intelligent life. Because
No. I just mean extraterrestrial life in general.
Well, then that means
just raises
that there's extraterrestrial life because
sure.
It's something that's already existing on that planet.
Yes.
So it's not something that was brought there and it's thriving. It's something that's living there currently. And regardless to amoeba being like one cell or whatever that may be, it's still a living organism on that planet.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's the argument of like, what constitutes intelligent life or whatever. But no, we're talking like statistically, if you show that there is more than one planet that has life of any sort, that instantly increases, if we find it in our own solar system, that increases the probability that there is life that exists in other planets, other solar systems that have the, quote, Goldilocks zone, which, is like this, depending on the size and density of the sun and the nature of the sun, having a habitable, area.
A planet
in
like
its
ours.
Orbit. Yeah. In an orbit like ours. So instantly, that increases the probability that all the exoplanets we've found, which I think they're up to a couple dozen, that are similar to ours. If Earth has life, Mars has life, then more than likely these exoplanets also have life. Mm-hmm. And then if you extrapolate to the fact that we have increased the statistical chance that there is life of any sort, bacteria, what have you, that increases the statistical probability that there is life like us. Because if one out of these couple dozen does, extrapolate that to hundreds and thousands.
Right. So my personal opinion on it, or my personal view on it, if you want to go by the scientific Big Boom, what came out of the Big Boom that we evolved from to begin with? Bacteria, gas, and dust.
Yes. Yeah. The primordial ooze of Earth that existed however many billions of years ago.
So, if there's bacteria, then, it's eventually going to continue evolving and evolving and evolving. That's just what there's to it. Now, you could also look at the different theories from the ancient alien perspectives, where human beings actually came here from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that could be a whole slew of different things, because then you can get even deeper and deeper and go parallels, or that was a cat noise. I know a cat noise anywhere.
Just knocked a bunch of stuff off the desk. Oh my goodness. Over here, baby. Come back over here, baby.
Special guest, Hyper the cat, everyone.
Yeah, she's the real wild card of this episode. She's like, y'all ain't got enough energy.
Liven it up.
Yeah, she's livening it up.
Get up the dance.
Give us a word this time. Tell your expecting audience something. Piper. Kitty, 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 kitty. Oh, she's just rolling. She's rolling around on my lap. So, we've almost done an hour. If I edit out all the meows and dead air, we probably got a good solid 30-minute episode. So that's a dense 30 minutes. Oh man, now she's curling up and she's about to sleep. I don't know how she does it. Piper is worse than some legit crackheads I've met in my life.
I could see that.
Worse in the best way.
The very best,
cat.
of course.
I love this cat. Andy Dick loves this cat, okay? I'm gonna marry this cat one day.
I have a son.
Oh my lord. Everyone, if you like seeing Andy Dick and things, check out the Tiger Belly episode with him. Bobby Lee's Tiger Belly. It is fucking hilarious. And that's my curation for the day. Alright, well, I think on that note, both our cups are empty, so that means that's the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
The cup principle of the Snide world. Alright, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this. This was kind of a spur of the moment Snide, so it's not as, as put together as some of our more recent work here. If you haven't checked out the Rye 5, check out that brother program to this show. We're getting the website tightened up. The website's becoming a very fun place for us and our ilk at this point. So check that out, snidestudios.com. We've also got, we're going to be on Spotify here within a week. That's really exciting. Yeah, and then, if I can get enough of you motherfuckers up in here that like this Snide shit, we're going to set up a Discord, and that's going to be where we're going to, share news stories and memes and that kind of stuff, because we've had some of the coolest chats, I think, just some of the most fun, just text humor, just text banter, and it gets better all the time. So I'm like, if we can find a following that likes this kind of stuff, they would love to get in on that experience. So that's going to be coming here within the next month or two. Also, Claybait Lodge just dropped, so check that out. A day at Claybait. Excuse me. As many times have I said it?
Claybait.
In 6 months, I've said that word so many times. But yeah, a day at Claybait Lodge. That's the Odd Job Anthology #1. We got 6 hijinks for your asses coming over the next couple months or so. Yeah. And so leading up to what is going to be just one of the greatest adventures of our lives. Then this last adventure, no spoilers, but yeah. You got anything else to plug, AC?
Let's see here. Well, coming up soon, actually, I'm gonna be bringing up my I Am Father, which is gonna be more of a comic book-esque storytelling of my experiences with my kids.
I can't
So that's
wait.
going to be new. I am putting the medium ash on hold for a little bit till we can get everything situated, ramped up, and all that sort of thing. Now, I am going to put this out there so people know that, I'm going to have some health stuff coming up soon, so things are going to go a little. But we're still going to be amping full steam. So,
Yeah.
nothing to be too worried about. Not dying.
Yeah, none of that. None of that up in here, man. Yeah, but I'm super excited for the I Am Father project. I've been cheering that one on for a minute. That's really exciting. And the Snides, that we're going to keep them rolling. We're going to keep them rolling. The next thing, we've got the space theme of the first half of this season. Second half of this season, second half of the year. I'm not going to give away that theme, but it's going to be vastly different from this, and it's going to kind of showcase sort of over the next couple of years. We're going to keep changing themes and stuff and adding more dimensions to the show, more segments and what have you. So it's going to be more of like an organized experience, which is what it is. And that one almost hit me. Did you see that one? That one almost hit me right there.
I saint it. I said, "Ooh," but you dodged it, bull.
Yeah, which doesn't mean we won't totally give up the space thing, but that's one of our big passions, sci-fi and space and stuff. So that's kind of where we're sticking at for right now for these sort of filler episodes. Not really filler because I think these are the more relaxed ones, but when it comes to the more organized ones, we're going to be appreciating award season this year like we never have. We've always been kind of like lightly interested in these things, and I think we've kind of fallen out of sort of not totally the zeitgeist, but we've fallen out of sort of some current things. I mean, I was looking at some of the lineups for these award shows. I'm like, holy shit, I need to fucking brush up on this the TikTok age of yeah. TikTok is it for us old fucks. That's all we hear is TikTok. And it's I don't want to fucking tune into a TikTok app. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm not on there. But I'm thinking maybe we'll eventually do a clip channel on there. Just put little clips, highlights and stuff. Just throw them out there on TikTok. See what sticks. But anyway, I just said TikTok era because that's just kind of the dominant. Before that we had the Twitter era. Before that it was the YouTube era. Before that it was like, wow, I skipped over Facebook because who gives a fuck about Facebook? But Facebook was in there somewhere. Before that was the MySpace era. Before the YouTube era, that was the MySpace era.
Yeah.
Man, I was
then
getting.
You had MSN Messenger era.
Yeah. AIM. Do you remember AIM?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember AIM.
Which is at the tail end of the AOL era.
AOL.com.
You remember Yahooligans?
Oh yeah.
They got cell phones now. Yahoo's doing cell phones now. I'm like, holy shit. Might be looking into that. Now I'm just rambling. You got anything else to add?
Make sure you like and subscribe. Even if it's not just for us, it's for anyone you watch on YouTube. If you like the content, subscribe. Keep it rolling.
Yeah, man. This is how you forge communities, 100%. Yeah, and aside from that, stay snide. Oh, wait, are you for? Oh, you had me for a second. You had me for a second. Check out these recommended videos all around me. They're flying around like asteroids. I'm like, ah.